What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This video here is kind of like a reaction video to a video that I saw. I'm not gonna put out who made the video, but it came into my feed, and so I watched it, and it was about blacks joining in Mexican gangs. And the video that I saw, it didn't surprise me. I knew it all along, and people are gonna have their different views about it. Hopefully, I don't upset anybody, but it has nothing to do with any dislike to us, to the black folks. Like I said, whoever been watching my videos, they already know about me and how I feel about blacks. We're pretty tight, and we go a long ways back. But anyway, it was a video about blacks joining into Southern California gangs, Mexican gangs. And like I said, what I heard didn't surprise me. It kind of like proved my point, what I've been saying a long time ago. And people are going to argue that they're not racist. And I'll agree, they're not racist. Not all of them. But for the most part, they are. Now, what I wanted to share with you guys today is how it is for blacks who run with the Bulldogs. See, the Bulldogs, they run different. They're different than everybody else. And that's why a lot of people don't like them, because they're different. Basically, if you ask me, they're haters. And they tried to get rid of the Bulldogs a long time ago. It still hasn't worked. It's not gonna work. And that's mainly where the hate comes from. They hate the fact that they do whatever they want to do, and they're not gonna follow any orders. But this one here is about the blacks that run with the Bulldogs, and there's also whites that run with the Bulldogs too. And the reason why is because the Bulldogs ain't racist. That's the bottom line. Yeah, they have fights with whites and blacks, but race has nothing to do with it. And that's why you'll find a lot of Bulldogs that are white and some are black. And back in my days, when I was running around with them, we had a couple of Asians. We even had a Japanese. And the thing is with the Bulldogs is when it first formed, it wasn't a gang. It wasn't even a security threat. It was a resistance to the organizations. It was a resistance to the ones that wanted to be in power. And the Bulldogs were formed because we got the manpower, and we're capable of being leaders too. So why follow anybody else? Why be under someone else's umbrella when we're capable of leading how we want to lead ourselves? And so when we bring a Bulldog in that's white or black, we don't look at race. We look at character, and we look at heart. Now, I'm not going to sit here and lie and say every Bulldog is a badass motherfucker, because they're not. But for the most part, most of them proved themselves already, one way or another. So when you get a white or a black or Asian or other, whatever one, however you want to call it, that runs with the Bulldogs, is they have proven themselves. They have proven themselves to jump when one of the homies got into something. Um, they're always going to respond. And see, being a freedom fighter is you're going to go against the so-called grain that everybody else is going with, because we're not a part of any organization or any group that's going to tell the Bulldogs what to do. And so when you get a white or black or other that runs with the Bulldogs, um, some of them catch heat, but for the most part, there's hardly any drama over it. You know, blacks see a black running with the Bulldogs. I've never ran into a problem with the blacks over that. Same with the whites, same with the others, same with the Asians. There was never no conflict because they were running with us. And the reason why is because the dogs can get along with anybody that chooses to get along with them. And those that don't, um, then whatever happens would happen. See, we don't look at someone differently because they're a different race. We look at them by what they stand for and what they represent. And if they represent the same thing that every other dog is representing, then they're embraced. Having to prove themselves, the time will come. Just like any other dog, the time will come. The dogs ain't racist. I said that already once. I'll say it again. They're not racist. See, in Fresno, you'll have mixed races in the same neighborhood. So blacks, whites, Mexicans, whatever. When they're kids, they grow up together and they ride with each other. And it's easy because they don't look at each other as a different race. They look at each other as a homie. And if they believe in what everybody else believes in and they're willing to fight for it, they're willing to fight for their freedom, then the Bulldogs embraced them. That's how it was back then in the late 80s, 90s. I'm pretty sure that's how it is now, because I still see whites and blacks that are Bulldogs. And they are not looked at any differently. If they're in the county jail or prison and they're throwing a spread, then nobody's going to say they're not going to eat after them. Nobody's going to say they're not going to sit at the same table as them. Nobody's going to have a problem with selling up with them. Because if you're a dog, you're a dog. Now, I heard in this video that I was watching, it was a Southside video, and when there was a black running with the Southsiders, they had a problem with them. Some of them didn't want to eat next to him or eat after him or throw a spread with them, but they would with the white. And for anybody to say that they're not racist, that's a damn lie, because that's racist. Now, had they said they're not going to eat or sell up with a white or a black, then it'd still be racist. But when there was a problem with the black, and it was supposed to be their homeboy, and they shut him down like that because his skin color, that's racist. So people gonna be on here saying that the Southsiders aren't racist, and they can argue the issue all they want. But like I said, not all of them are. But the majority of them um, are racist, and that video proved it. Because had a homeboy came at me like that and said they weren't gonna sit at the table with the black, that's a homeboy, or sell up with him, and he's a homeboy, then they would have got checked, because that's not how the dogs roll. And when this individual said that there was an issue with the Southsider and with his own homie that was black, then and nothing was done about it, then that's what the difference is between the dogs and everybody else. See, what people don't know is the dogs are a disruptive group. You hear all these videos about they're always getting into shit, but nobody says, or nobody never says, why the problem is still ongoing. See, and on speaking on the dogs' behalf, the problem isn't with the dogs. The problem is people don't like the dogs because they don't have to follow any rules. They refuse to follow any rules, and they will fight for what they believe in. And that's what people don't like. See, the dogs put out just as much punishment on other people, other factions, just as much as they put out on the dogs. See, we take some and we give some. And that's how it's always going to be. So when you hear videos saying that the dogs are not liked, that's why they don't like them. It's because they don't follow no rules. That's the bottom line. Now I'm jumping off the subject a little bit. Now back to the color barrier. That's a big difference with other factions, because that's another reason why those factions don't like the dogs. It's because the dogs can get together and throw a spread, and if there's a black one or a white one or a few of them and they're homies and they're welcome to them spreads, other factions see that and they don't like it. See, they don't like what the dogs do, but at the same time, they're worried about what they're doing. See, they don't say that. They don't say it bothers the fuck out of them when they see a dog that's a black dude and a dog that's a Mexican dude and a dog that's a white dude kicking it together, spreading together. They don't say that they don't like that. But then what right do they have to say if they don't like it or not? It's nobody's business. And that's one of the reasons why the dogs are hated so much. It's because people look at how they do things and they don't like how they do things, even though it's not their business. So they want to use violence over that, and that's their problem. And what also they don't like is the dogs will fight for any reason that somebody comes up with. And a lot of times, I heard it before myself, that when there's other races that's Bulldog, people don't like that. People don't like that, even though they don't like the dogs. They're worried about what they're doing. They say it makes Mexicans look bad. How? Because we accept other races? Because we're not racist, so we make Mexicans look bad? Or Chicanos look bad? How does that make the dogs look bad? Because they welcome other races who are willing to fight for their freedom See, it's a cause that they're fighting for. They're not fighting for uh, to be liked. They're not fighting because nobody likes them. They're fighting because it's their freedom. They're fighting to be able to do what they want to do. Now I'm gonna cut this one short. The main point to this was how the dogs accepted other races. And the bottom line is, when you're a dog, you're a dog. Don't matter what color you are. No other dog's gonna say they ain't gonna kick it with you. They're not gonna say they're not gonna sit at the same table with you. They're not gonna say they're not gonna throw a spread with you. They're not gonna say that they don't want to sell up with you because you're another race. That's just how the dogs roll. And as much as hate and dislike that there is against them, there's that much respect for them. And you'll never hear it because people are scared to speak their speak what they thinking. But those same people that are hating on them, under their breath, they respect them. And they wish they can be like them. Because I'll tell you what, when the dogs and the Southsiders were getting along back in the 90s, when there was a red light, that red light thing everybody talks about, there was Southsiders that expressed the respect they have for the dogs. And they expressed that they wish they were a dog. Now, I'm not going to put out no names, but they're out there. And there's some listening now. Like I said, they won't admit it because they got people that they fear. And if they stood up to them people, they would be able to do what they want to do too. You know, yeah, they're scared of getting their life took and all that. They're scared of what could be done to them. At the same time, same thing can be done to the dogs. And you don't see them backing down. You don't see them stopping their movement when they know so many people don't like them. They're willing to fight. They're willing to live. They're willing to die. It's not about color. It's about what you believe in and what you're down to fight for. That being said, hit the like, subscribe, comment, share, hit the notification bell for any other content I put out. I'm not too fluent on here, but when an issue or something comes up, or I see a video and I want to make a response to it, that's when I'll post something. If anybody has any questions or they have any something they want me to talk about, put it in the comments. You know, I got a lot of shit to talk about, but I'll talk about it if you guys want to hear it. Ask me questions. You know, whatever you want. That being said, I'm out. Peace.